afternoon, everybody. Welcome to No BS Ted. That's Ryan from No Border Sports. He's the No BS. And I'm Ted, the one who's full of BS. So welcome to the show. And happy Tuesday. Wah, wah, wah. Ryan, how are you doing on this fine Tuesday?
I'm doing great.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah. Monday, man, last night's game was not really that interesting.
No.
Yeah.
I turned it off when it was 14-0. I guess I'm glad I did.
I turned it off somewhere with like 6 minutes left in the fourth.
Oh, you gutted it out much longer than I did.
Yeah, well, there could have been a chance, but at that time it was pretty evident nothing else was going to happen.
The chance of a chance.
Yeah,
that's all it takes.
I think I was 1 point off the score. I think it was 1 point off the total score for Corey Davis's Lockdown Pick'em show that it's on tomorrow night at 7:00.
Ah, cool. Well, should we say hello to
hello
in the chat? We got James Durnall coming to us from across the pond in the UK. Cheerio, James. Hello. Got Jess from East Coast Red and Gold. So let's go. Make sure you check her out Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern with Matty B. Bex and the great Ty Alston. Got Bryant Culp in the house. It says smash the like button, everybody. Make sure you check out Bryant's show and Tony's show. It looks like there might be a Bryant and Ted show this Friday, maybe. We've been talking about it, and it seems like schedules might abide. So I might get to double dip on Friday with Bash and Bryant. A BB Friday. Yeah, Bash and Bryant Friday. That'd be good. Make that happen, Bryant. No pressure.
Back to back. Bash and Bryant.
There you go. It's possible. We were looking at morning, but I'm pretty open other than like 11 to noon or 3 o'clock onwards. So got Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Make sure you check out his channel. Say yo. James said,
"What up, Daniel Berry?
Missed nothing." Yeah, I went to go help my wife, and we had like a long night with our young one. It was up quite a bit, so didn't get a ton of sleep, but definitely missed the end of the game. And I don't think I'm going to go watch it.
I could see James nodding off, watching the game, waking up, looking at the screen, seeing what the score is, and being like, why the hell did I even wake up? This is bullshit. I should still be sleeping. I could have just checked this shit later on.
I mean, we do that here in the States, but like James is like, it's like 1 a.m. GMT when they start these 1:15. So they're going to like 4 a.m. over there in the UK. So that's some real dedication to watch the night games over there.
When you say GMT, he means Greenwich time.
That's right. Greenwich Mean Time. So yes. 0 o'clock when we're at, 8 o'clock at that point? No, they're at 8 when we're at 0. I don't know. They're at 8 when we're at noon. Frank Culp saying go Niners. Love it. We got Gammon Brown. He was on with me earlier today at 1. Let's get it again. LOL. Thank you, Gammon. It's a lot of fun today, chopping it up. Great guest. If anybody's looking for an outstanding visitor, pinch hitter, I mean, I would say he kind of carried the show, so more than a pinch hitter. Cheerio means bye, Ted, not hello. There you go. Leave it to me to F that one up. Well, whatever the hello part of it is in jolly old England, back at you. There you go.
Yeah, cheerio. Like, I guess if you got to watch enough. You don't watch enough British comedies, I can tell, Ted.
I don't. I'm very clearly not.
Have you seen?
I thought it was
Monty
like
Python. Have you seen Monty Python Search for the Holy Grail?
Oh shit, yeah.
Okay. Have you seen
Countless?
Life of Brian?
Oh, of course, lots of time. Not as many.
Okay.
My pecking order was Holy Grail, The Meaning of Life, and then Life of Brian. Probably.
I love Life of Brian.
Life of Brian was funny for sure, but I don't know. Meaning of Life. That pardon me, sir, but would you like a after dinner meat? It's wafer thin.
I'm gonna give you a show to look up, and you got to check it out. You know who?
Fish Called Wanda is kind of Monty Python-ish, wasn't there? There's a lot of Monty Python guys in it.
There's 2 people from the cast of Monty Python in there.
Still, it was funny.
Please, Michael Palin and John Cleese.
I thought Ken's gonna kill me.
Yeah, that's Michael Palin.
I thought Cheerio was like kind of like Aloha in the islands. You got to say it coming or going, I thought it went both ways. Pause.
No, Cheerio is like when you're stepping off the porch when you're leaving, you just Cheerio. You kind of throw up the deuces as you're over your shoulder as you're leaving.
All right. Well, I'll say it at the end again, James, and then I'll be right. So Joe Stevens in the house saying, "Sup, big dogs."
Got a show with Joe tomorrow.
I gave you your flowers last week, Joe, when you guys were in first. Now we're back in it. And we didn't even play a game, yo.
Yeah, he said like, people were.
Did you see that Travis King video where he's like, oh, no game this weekend sucks, but at least you can't lose when you don't have a game this weekend. So I had a little of that.
Yeah, Joe tried to bet me $100 that the 49ers were going to lose this weekend, and I was like, no, but I bet you we won't win.
There you go. This is Spinal Tap. That's a classic for sure. This one goes to 11. The amp.
You gotta. Do you know who Jimmy Carr is?
I think I do. Yeah, I mean, not off the top of my head, so I'll say no. I'm sure I should.
He looks like he could be a young version of one of Jeff Dunham's puppets. And that's actually a joke somebody said about him. But he's extremely fast and quick-witted. But I'm gonna send you some 9 out of 10 cats choose countdown.
Well, I'm not fast and quick-witted on a good day, and like I said, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So
you'll be rolling over this shit. This is
all right.
It's a great show.
I love it. Sounds good. But yeah, Spinal Tap's a classic for sure. Great movie.
Snatch is a great movie. If anybody doesn't know, Snatch is free on YouTube right now if you want to go check that out after the show.
After the show.
Great movie. Right. Great movie.
Right. James says, the more I think about this problem with the Niners defense, it's lack of leadership on the sidelines. Kyle, that's a playbook or lost our rah guy on the sidelines. Yeah, I mean, there was a concern going into the season. But I was confident in Wilkes, and I'm still confident that he'll figure it out. I don't know if we've talked about this last week, Ryan, but I mean, I was saying, where you coach, I don't think it makes that big of a deal. There's plenty of guys that are booth guys, including now I'm blanking on his name, who we almost got again this last season. Who was with us for Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And now he's with the Dolphins. Vic Fangio is a booth guy. Dan Quinn, who's the Cowboys DC, is a booth guy.
Yep.
And I think like at some point, like it's not just also where they're comfortable and where they see the field best, but like if you look at some of the reactions in the booth when there's a big play and everybody's like jumping up and down and cheering around him and Wilkes is just all stoic. It's almost worse if he's on the sideline being like Debbie Downer when everybody else is getting pumped up. And rather than pumping them up, he's like the anchor slowing them down. So I'm not one of those like Wilkes needs to go to the sideline people or even Wilkes needs to be fired type people, at least not yet. I don't know. I said on Twitter not too long ago, I said something like, I can't be that mad at him when he has Isaiah Oliver as his nickel corner, and then they're like, well, Ted, he's the one who brought Isaiah Oliver in. I'm like, yeah, that's true, but still, he's
Ted,
such a weak link.
I'm the one that brought that up to you.
Okay.
I'm the one that commented that under Twitter.
Well, okay. There were several. I don't know if you were first, but yeah, you were one of you piled on there. That's for sure. Thanks a lot.
Well, hey, but Ted,
no, it's fine. I don't want an echo chamber. I don't want to spread bad info.
You have told me, hey Ryan, you might be wrong on this, bruh. You even DM'd it instead of put it in the thing. Because hey, I'm not trying to put you on blast, but you're a little wrong here. You need to go back and check that up. I appreciate that. Look, I'm not going to let you go out on a big tangent. You know what I'm saying? When there's this little piece of information you might want to know.
Ryan is like, I see a weak moment.
See, some people go for that. Go for a knife, throw you under a bus, be like, I knew you were always trash. You know what I mean? And it's just, look,
you
obviously missed a right. But there was one interview where that information was revealed, right? There's no other place where you can essentially find that.
No, so, and the thing about it is, you could tell at the cut down day when we lost Jameson, a great returning corner kick returner from Texas, and we kept Oliver, and a lot of us were unhappy about that. And we're like, Wilkes. Hopefully it works out, and sure enough, it hasn't. So I do discredit him for that some, but still at the same time, now we got to fix it, and and then I can get really mad at him if we fix that and we're still struggling. Also, Drake Greenlaw's been banged up.
Can I get back to the sideline versus the booth thing?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so if our defense's big problem is that we don't have one guy on the sideline to be one more guy on the sideline to be a cheerleader, we got big fucking issues. That is totally not no issue. You know what I mean? That is not. We've got captains, leaders, vets, all pros on that defense who can stand up and take charge if need be. Okay, to get people hyped up. What do we know in the past? Our offense would get our defense hyped up, and our defense would get our offense hyped up. So it's us. It's our situation. The other thing is the defense can't be essentially whole without getting back to the basics. You have Kyle Shanahan talking about, we just got to be disciplined. Discipline isn't everything out there. It isn't. Just because we're not making tackles. What up, Jay?
Jay in the Bay.
Got Jay in the Bay in the house. Make sure to go check him out. They had a show last night on the Stray Out of the Bay. I don't know it was probably streaming on all their channels, and then they've got a channel just for that one. So make sure to go check them out. Jay in the Bay.
Jay, Eric, Kels. Good stuff.
Kels is oh shoot.
There's levels to this.
Good thing. I gotta get back to Kelts. Jay in the Bay hit me up with a trade, and Kelts just hit me up with the trade. So I'm glad you said that, because it reminded me to go find my other phone real quick. Yeah, I don't think that
fantasy stuff
discipline. I don't think somebody might want to trade. There's discipline stuff that definitely needs to be addressed, but that's not the whole issue. The discipline issue isn't gonna fix the guys being like 20 yards off the receiver, giving them fluff yards. That's not discipline. That's the play that you called. There's discipline isn't the fact that we're doing some bland ass vanilla shit up front. That's not discipline. That's the play of the call. That's the play call. I understand they want to say it's discipline, because there is some discipline stuff that needs to be done. They need to not discipline, but they need to get better at it. You know what I mean? Because they're not tackling as well. There's certain things where we're not flowing as well on the defense, but we're also not playing our killer style of defense. The line isn't eating, and the line isn't eating because it seems like we're not running stunts up there, and it's tying like one hand behind our back. We got to play straight up and even. I don't want to play straight up and even. Let's shove some aces up our sleeves and go in there, kick over the table, show everybody we won with aces, and take the money. Let's get out. It annoys me. And that's one thing. Like everybody, we got to get back to being disciplined and disciplined football. Yeah, but what else? Because there's other stuff. There's other stuff that we're seeing that. Why does he got 5 yards to run before somebody misses a tackle? If it was just discipline, he'd be missing the tackle right as he catches the ball. Right?
I can see the logic in that. Makes sense.
I don't think it's as easy as discipline. I think Wilkes is having issues playing our style of football.
Yeah, and he's still learning the system. Like this is a system that
he doesn't
he never coached the wide 9 before. So
you got 4 plays. There's like 3 or 4 plays that we need to run. You know how many times last year we had a game where we essentially only called 2 plays and a couple variations of each?
How many?
There was multiple games like that. Go ask Fred Warner. Fred Warner talked about it a couple times. We're locked in there. We're doing all things. I think we only called like 2 different plays that whole game. He said that a couple times last season. And not only that, but it looked like it in the play because everybody's just flying around, stopping everybody because it's the same shit they did the play before and the play before that and the play before that and the play before that. They're so good at it because they've been doing it over and over and over again. And you're trying to sneak one past them and you can't. Now we're doing all this crazy stuff and it seems like you remember when Robert Saleh, I think it was his second year, Robert Saleh said, I've taken stuff off of Fred's plate because I would rather him go fast than to be able to say all this stuff. Right? So instead of having a real complex defensive scheme, he just wanted it straight up, plain and simple. And it was so people could pin their ears back and go. I wonder if Steve Wilkes has decided he's going to put some more on people's plates. And I wonder if that is causing issues. You know what I mean? Like maybe Fred is really effective at just having some simple schemes. And if there's anything that needs to be figured out on the fly, he's your guy. You know what I mean? Like he's the linebacker in the middle of the field. He can get to any spot in the field quickly. If he sees something wrong, it's his duty to take it over. If he's not going to be calling, these fancy schemes or fancy plays, like I don't know. This is just my thought. If that is the case,
they call it, paralysis of analysis, right? When you're thinking too much, it slows you down, and you're not being instinctive. You're not, making quick reactions.
I think the biggest call on third down should be what stunt you're doing up front. Everything else should be like press cover man for the most part on third down, unless it's like third and short. You know what I mean? Like it's this. Like you should be in the same thing on third down, the man, where it's like beat us straight up on third down. We're press cover. You're going to have to earn every fucking inch. The only thing you should be worrying about is how am I going to unleash my defensive line on here? Last third down, it was this. You know what I mean? Would you want to play along with that and make them think it's the same thing, but do it, on the opposites, like end up crashing the opposite side instead of, because you know how sometimes they'll put 3 people on one side and one on the other.
Right.
So if you do that on third down, then on the next third down, maybe you line up in that same formation, but the side with 1, that's where you're actually crashing 3 people. You just run a stunt and just move all the 3 over the other way. So people think, oh, it's just like last time. We'll just prepare for it's like it's last time. And then you do something different out of it. And you get because third down, hey, they got us last third down. Well, let's get them this third down, right? Like we got to stop this drive. That's what I want to see. And that's what I see 0 of up on the line.
I would just say stunts are probably not advisable on 3rd and short because they open up for busting run plays. But yeah, I hear your point. It made sense. James Renal was saying, why do we bring Gregory if we are eyeing up Chase? I'd be happy with one of them, but to double down and not address the weakest points of our team says to me, don't hold your breath for number 6. I would say don't hold your breath for number 6.
So the timeline on Chase was like the day after the trade. John Lynch said that the idea of being able to get Chase came up 2 weeks prior.
Okay.
So if you look at that, that's like almost at the same time they just got done getting Gregory.
And also, the two of them together only account for about 1.4 mil of cap hit this year. Randy Gregory was basically almost free for draft capital, assuming that we end up towards the end of the 6th round and the Broncos stay towards the front of the 7th round. And then as far as Chase Young, the 3rd round comp pick, we should get that back if he leaves and gets a big contract. The only way I think we wouldn't is if he got injured again, if he tore his ACL again or something like that. But
which I'm okay. Look, I don't want to see him injured, but
to say
I'm okay with taking that chance.
Address one of the weaker points of our team. I kind of disagree. I mean, D-line maybe isn't that weak in general, but the D end across from Bosa is Drake Jackson. Hasn't done anything since his 3 sacks against the Steelers in week 1. We're missing Ebicom and Amenahue and even maybe Jordan Willis. Kerry Hyder left with Randy Gregory. But
what I would say is that Chase Young on the other side of Bosa should help out the secondary too.
Yeah, it should.
It should.
So it should help out the run defense too.
Yeah, if our defense can pull their head out of their ass, not necessarily it's on the players. I don't know what the situation is, but something's fucking wrong. Okay, but if we can pull our head out of our asses, somebody like Chase Young coming in and selling out to the system, and that could be fucking the nastiest thing in the NFL.
Well, and part of what's maybe us pulling our heads out could be getting Womack and Luter back, and that could be part of the reason why we weren't super motivated to go out and get a corner, because we knew that those guys were coming back, and hopefully there's plans for them.
I don't know what Luter's got, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we talked about this. We
know he's tall and he has big hands and long arms, and
okay,
he's a ball hawk. He's a press man corner, like you said. You want to see more press man. That's all he played at Southern Alabama. Was it Southern Alabama? Southern Mississippi? I think it was Southern Alabama.
But Oliver is not doing it in base. Like in our base nickel, he's not it. We need Womack in the slot. That's our dude.
Or Womack on the boundary and Lenore in the slot. But yeah, Womack on the field.
Look,
and Oliver off the field ultimately.
And do you think they're gonna swap Demo and put him inside and put Womack outside?
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes more sense, but we'll see.
I think that's what they were trending to in the beginning of the season before injuries happen and all that. So yeah, I can totally see that. I don't care. I just don't want that damn jerk Oliver out there for all these snaps.
Yeah.
Like if you're so good and you're so punishing, play special teams and cause turnovers, bro. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. If you really want to earn your paycheck and earn your way onto the team, well, like this is the other thing too. Oliver essentially got handed that spot in front of guys who have been on this team for years, who have put in the time and effort, and we have seen play better than Oliver. So I don't know if there's a little animosity between certain players and coaches or whatever, or something like that. There could be a little bit of that. I just don't know. How do you win 5 straight games and then shit the bed 3 games in a row and look like a shell of your former self? I don't see it. How does that all of a sudden? How do you forget how to tackle correctly? Like we weren't always necessarily the best tacklers. We would hit you. you would have to figure out if you were on the ground or not. Once you figured out, you weren't knocked on your ass, then you'd start to go upfield. And after about 2 steps, you would be entangled by another one of us, right? That's how we used to, kind of every other play was kind of like that. You might get an extra couple yards on us, but that's about it. Now it's like everybody's wide receivers and running backs are like a Debo against us. They're they're just stiff arming and breaking fucking tackles left and right on us. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is Dre is injured. Part of it is
Trey Greenlaw. That guy, hey, he never missed. Fred would fall off a tackle. Dre Greenlaw would not. He finishes through the fucking tackle. Handles me. And what have we seen? He's also fucking up with his tackling game. So I don't know. It makes no sense.
Ebby Calm was really good against the run.
This isn't stuff you forget about. This is not stuff you forget about 5 weeks into the season after you've been doing it on an elite level the whole time. It makes no sense.
Debo's back. I haven't heard anything about Trent. Have you?
I haven't heard. No. But he could be one of those, didn't practice all week, but got cleared an hour before the game, and he's good to go. He's dressing up.
Yeah. He doesn't need to do much to get prepared other than just be ready.
I love Trent for that type of shit.
So here we go. Lombardi reported yesterday that Trent Williams was off to the side, throwing and catching a football to start, which is a little surprising since did I cut out there?
Yeah, I was having issues hearing you. I didn't know if it was my connection.
All of a sudden, I didn't see either of us, which is unusual. Let me check my Wi-Fi.
You're all good to go. What were you saying again? That Trent Williams was seen on the side of the field,
yeah, throwing a football before practice, and that's the most we've seen of him since the Cleveland game, which is a little surprising since it was a low ankle sprain. Usually those are just like 1 to 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but I guess this will be week 3, so I think he'll be back.
Well, they might also be trying to be smart about this and trying to get him as 100% as possible because they don't want to lose him later on down the stretch for a couple of games, which could definitely happen if they don't let this shit heal, right?
What's your stance on that, Ryan?
So to heal an ankle, like to play on it, you got to tape it. And even after a couple of weeks, you're still, after it's healed, you still have to use like a cloth bandage. Now, a lot of these guys get their ankles taped anyways, so that might not be too much of a factor, but I don't know. I think they're just trying to make sure he's 100% before he comes back, which I would too. I don't think
Debo was definitely back at practice. I saw him.
The left tackle position is not why we're dropping these games.
Well, we're not running the ball well, and Trent Williams is much better run blocker than Jalen Moore. So,
yes, that doesn't mean that's the reason why we're losing games. People are putting points up on us, and we're not scoring points. Now, we're not being able to run the ball. Okay, so if we can't run the ball, what's the next best thing to running the ball? Little short passes. Yeah. So, okay. So why aren't we getting that together?
But then you don't have Debo. So it was the combination of the two.
I don't give two shits about whether
skill. It's not just their skill. It's
their toughness. Ted, stop being Kyle. Who cares if we don't have Debo? Okay. I love Debo. Okay. I want him on our team. There's going to be times where we don't have Debo, and we've got to rely on all the other people who we have in the wings, like a Ronnie Bell, Ray McLeod. Here pretty soon, Danny Danny Gray. There's a reason why we have more players on this team. We can't just go, oh, we can't do this in our offense because Debo's out. Fuck that. We need to figure out how to get things going. He's an offensive genius. Fuck that. Let's play our guys. Oh, it just annoys me how he gets stuck on this shit. Like, we got Brandon Ayuk, who hasn't looked as good as normal, right? We got Brock Purdy, who isn't looking as good as normal. We got Ronnie Bell. Last time he was in, he looked great. Okay? So why not try and get Ronnie Bell some freaking touches to see if he can't spark something in this offense to get everybody to fucking break out of their shell or whatever it is they're stuck in, some whatever hoodoo or voodoo that got them all entangled. We need, it makes no sense to me why, because Debo's gone, we can't use we got Christian McCaffrey. Why can't we line Christian McCaffrey up there as a wide receiver and throw a bubble screen to him? Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that why we got Christian McCaffrey, so we didn't have to have Debo in the backfield? Well, Christian McCaffrey also can do Debo shit in the passing game. You know what I'm saying? So we got people to that shit's a cop out. And look, okay, let's say our run game is decimated because Trent Williams isn't there and McKivitz is not a run blocker, he's a pass blocker. Okay, let's just say that's 100% facts. Okay, Kyle, you're an offensive genius, right? Okay, you out of everybody in this league should be able to figure out how to win in this situation. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, maybe the genius was Mike McDaniel.
We got some more people in the house. Shout out to Raphael. Raphael, he's a Raiders fan. Salute, Raphael. Also, with Edgard.
Ascoli.
See him
in 49 Bros in channel.
What up? We're the 49er Bros.
Indeed. A Raider fan. Well, I wonder how they're feeling about Aiden O'Connell these days. It seems like
I think they are extremely happy to have lost probably about 360 pounds. They lost 360 pounds last week, and they are ecstatic. They lost Jimmy. Well, Jimmy G's still kind of hanging around, but they don't really have to deal with him because his ass is riding pine. So unless all the other quarterbacks get fucked up, Jimmy won't be back out there. And then the coach is gone. Seems like everybody's okay with this.
And the GM too.
How awkward do you think it is for Jimmy right now? The guy who brought you in there got fired. Now you're sitting there. It's almost like Devontae Adams, what Devontae Adams went through last year. Carr brings him over there. He's like, yeah, let's do this. And then Carr gets fucking thing. And then Devontae's like, oh, shit. I'm here all by myself. I came here for Derek. Yeah. Jimmy's over there like, shit, I'm here all by myself. I came here. Yeah.
And they beat the Giants over the weekend. And Daniel Jones tore his ACL. It's a bummer.
Oh, yeah. Poor guy.
Officially curtains for the Giants season, if it wasn't already.
Well, especially with like Carson Wentz signed into the Rams. Who else could they get? Oh, hey. Raiders. Why don't you get Jimmy G a new life? Give Jimmy G some new life.
Get him to the Giants.
Send him over there to the Giants.
That would be interesting. I think they're tanking anyway. And now that Daniel Jones is out, maybe that's the perfect excuse to try and get another quarterback.
Yeah, they still got to pay him money, though, right? I can't remember what his contract was, but
$40 million a year.
But that doesn't mean it's all guaranteed. But still, like, I can't remember how much of it was.
I think a lot of it was.
I thought they. Oh God, Jimmy G, our contract with Jimmy G when we gave him everything for those 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a better contract.
Okay,
I think that was a better deal, the situation to do that than what the Giants did with Danny Dimes. Like he gave you mediocre play, and you were like, reward that shit.
Okay, so it was 4 years, 160, so 40 mil, like I said.
Yep.
36 mil signing bonus, average salary 40, guaranteed at signing 81, total guaranteed 92. So in 2024, he gets a base of 35.5. 9 million of the signing gets prorated. So that's the dead cap. Oh, wait, no, dead cap 69.3 mil in 2024. That's a lot. $47 million cap hit in 2024. And oof, yeah. So they are not getting rid of him next year, but maybe
Nope.
2025 when he has a dead cap of 22 million, that might work.
Wow, I could hear the echo there.
So definitely not drafting a quarterback this year, unless they're going to make Daniel Jones be a bridge QB on one leg. James says should have played Sam last game. I know hindsight is 2020, but Brock got smacked again against the Bengals. You won't convince me that wasn't another concussion. Well, yeah, it wasn't hindsight. It was 2020 for me when I wrote the article before the game saying, I said, would you balk if Kyle were to sit Brock? And I said I would not balk. Even though I was going to the game, I wanted to see Brock play. I didn't want to see Sam Darnold play. I thought another week to heal his head, to strengthen his arm, to not be unprotected without Trent Williams out there. I didn't even know that Trent Williams wasn't going to play, but I just said he was questionable. I said if he doesn't play or doubtful, whatever he was, that was just one more reason not to play Brock. So I didn't want to see Sam play, but the lesser of two evils, lose the battle to win the war.
Yeah. Yeah, especially going into a bye week, right?
Yeah, where you get that extra week of rest. Exactly.
You got to, everybody can be set up for a good one. You already dropping games looking like a fool anyways, right? Who's going to fault you for Sam Darnold dropping a game? Right? Think about it. You know who's going to fault you for Brock Purdy going out of the game on a stretcher after a concussion because you wanted to rush him back? Everybody and their mama. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's ready to run our offense right now and run it at a moderate level. I don't expect him to go in there and sling it like Brock does when he's on fire. But I would hope he'd be able to moderately move our offense down the field. I would hope we would be able to put up something like 20-something points a game, maybe 24 points a game. But
that would be a big improvement from 17.
Yeah. Yes. And if our defense could come through, which, like, we lost essentially Jimmy Ward, a couple of average edges, and all of a sudden 5 games into the season or 6 games into the season, we're falling on our face, and it's like we don't know what we can do. I don't think that has to do with the personnel on the field so much as it does to what they're being told to do. Like, I understand that they need to execute better. I understand that they needed to do that on certain plays last year when they were playing lights out. You know what I mean? There's times, but like there is something wrong with our defense that people are being able to not only run on but pass on, and it's not okay. I feel like almost violated. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get so used to not having to worry about one aspect of your football team where it's like bulletproof. And then now you've got to worry about both sides of the ball. That's what really, like, okay, we were scoring 30 points a game for, 5 games straight, and then, we tanked. Right. Okay, well, we weren't doing that before. This is something quite new. So if that was to fall off, I get it, right? But our defense falling off the edge of the planet out of the middle of fucking nowhere, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because it's been so bulletproof this whole time. That's why I can't even like point the finger at Steve Wilkes, because we saw fucking 5 games this season that look fucking great. Fuck. Makes no sense.
Yeah, some people want to point at the defense. Some people want to point at the offense. If you ask me which one is it, I just say yes. Because I feel
at this point in time, it's the head coach's fault. And the reason why I say that is because, okay, 1 week, okay, then it's, like this goes on for 1 week. That's the assistant coach's issue, like the defensive line coach. It's the secondary coach. It's the linebackers coach. That's their problem week 1. Yeah, you do it. That keeps up week 2. That's the defensive coordinator's ass right there, because he should have squashed that shit the week before after it happened, right? So week 3, that's the head coach's issue, because if he didn't fucking start sniffing around the problem week 1, and he definitely didn't get to talking to nobody week 2, well, it's his ass on week 3.
Yeah.
And then somewhere down the road
with Kyle, even though he never says that, we know that's the truth.
And somewhere down the road, in our franchise, it doesn't go to John. It's not John Lynch's responsibility to tell Kyle what the fuck is going on. You need to fix your shit. It's Jed's responsibility. John and Kyle essentially, they're on the same level. John just deals with the whole other side of John's not firing Kyle. Kyle's not getting fired without Jed York's order. Okay. So therefore, John Lynch does not have the authority to essentially, or I don't think he would go to Kyle and be like, hey, Kyle, you need to fix this shit. That's Jed's responsibility at that point, because Kyle helped hire John Lynch. You know what I'm saying? It's not a regular power dynamic that you'll find at other franchises, which I'm not necessarily mad about. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have
final say on all personnel decisions.
Well, it's not the person. In fact, I'd rather have somebody kind of take that out of Kyle's hands sometimes. But it's more of you don't have some GM doing some weird shit with personnel and then blaming it all on the coach and then firing the coach that you can't win, and you fucking do some dumbass fucking shit with fucking, because that can happen. This is, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to worry about fucking players to get on this team. You do everything you can to fucking get players to the players that I get you to fucking win. That's their dynamic. And Kyle goes, John, this is the kind of players I need. And John goes, okay, I'm looking for them. That's their whole power dynamic. John comes to Kyle. Hey, Kyle, you want this guy? I got it out there. Like, I can get it. Well, if you can get it, I'll take him. Okay. That's how they talk. It's not about, hey, Kyle, you dropped the last 2 games. What is your plan going forward to fix this? That's not a conversation John Lynch has with Kyle.
No, Kyle's in charge.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, it's up to him to figure this out. And hopefully him and Wilkes, hopefully. We'll see. It's it's going to be no easy task going into Jacksonville. We're coming off a bye, but so are they. And somebody pointed out, maybe it was Gammon Brown today, pointed out that not only that, but they didn't even play on Sunday like we did against the Bengals. They played that Thursday. So they've had 2.5 weeks off with this bye. It's like a bye and a half a bye on top of it. And this will be our third team coming off a bye. Cleveland was coming off a bye. The Bengals were coming off a bye. Now the Jags will be. And then we have a fourth one, which seems abnormally high when teams only have one bye per season, yet somehow we're running into 4 teams coming off their byes. It's kind of rough. But ultimately, the Jags have a good defense. They have 3 good weapons, and Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, and Travis Etienne.
I don't think we can let the teams coming off the bye be an excuse. I understand that it would be tougher, but I feel we're the better team when it comes down to personnel. I think we need
everything except quarterback
and offensive line. But like I said, yeah. I think we still should
and
be
nickel
putting
corner.
Up points. Still, we should be able to help that situation. We should be able to help that situation and lock it down. We've gotten far with Dante Johnson Island. We've got things we can do. We've got other players on the team that can put more on their plate, and they're smart and they're fast and they can step up. I think it's really showing how amazing having Jimmy Ward was with his versatility, because he's literally great at 2 positions, cornerback and safety. He's great at 2 positions. He's fucking one of the best at 2 positions. Not necessarily, like one of the best as far as corners, because obviously there's a lot out there, but as far as what he can do as a corner, you're like, oh shit, that's your safety? You know what I mean? Like, it's almost, it's to me, it's like comparable on Christian McCaffrey's route running abilities. For a running back, being able to run routes like as perfectly as he does, and with the way he does, I mean, it's magnifique. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's perfect. So yeah, we got guys. We got guys. We should be winning, bro. We should be winning hands down. Hands down. Don't give me excuses. I don't think we should have any excuses. Like, somebody came in talking about us, like we were trying to say the refs caused things. No, the refs didn't cause us to lose. We were just talking about how the refs were bad. And the refs have been bad around the whole fucking league, which is really bad. And I hate to see it. When I'm calling a game and I see bad refereeing, I'm just, it saps the fun out of watching this other game that's not my team. You know what I mean? That's kind of why I don't even try to watch baseball. I've watched too much of John Boy to know that these umps and the refs, they're just getting in it. They're just getting in the game, and they're making it a shittier game. And I don't want to waste my time watching a game to have some shitty ref get in the middle of fucking baseball and ruin the fucking game. So it's happening to football. Full-time refs.
It's a bummer.
Pay them full-time. Make them go over and ref for the XFL and the XFL, CFL, or USFL merger. Make them go over and ref for them too. On your dime, NFL. Keep them going year-round. Keep them going year-round. Start also throwing money to the referee unions, or whatever you call them, that do the Friday Night Lights and the Pop Warners. So you've got a good pool to pull from. Like, I don't understand why I've been talking about this for years. They don't have a good stable pipeline for referees. So with this game getting so big, it's going to go all to shit because you've got essentially whoever decides they want to be a ref is going to be a ref for the NFL at some point in time if they don't change it, because no one else, you'll have people who are bad, who know they're bad, but they won't quit because there's nobody to fill their spot. In like Friday night games, they've had to go from running like 5-man, 6-man crews down to like 4. Do you think that makes a better game for the kids on Friday nights? No. You've got refs, trying to keep an eye on too much of the field. And of course, when you see something happening that you're not looking at, you look over at it, right? Well, what made you look over there is probably what you need to be throwing a flag for, but by the time you get over to look at it, there's nothing going on. You just see whatever happened afterwards, right? Like someone fall down or this, that. You don't know what exactly happened. You can't throw a flag. So,
true.
Yeah. This is a big thing that really needs to be talked about. I'm glad Pat McAfee's talking about it. I don't think he's scaring people enough with the reality, because I think people need to understand what the reality is.
Yeah, you need to have the pipeline, like you said, and
yes.
Otherwise, and also I think you need to have permanent full-time employees and not just contractors, so that you get more of the cream of the crop of what's available too. I think both are important.
If you made it so that's like the only thing they did, right? Because it's year round. It's the only thing they did. And the only way they got raises, essentially, other than like cost of living, was being more accurate. Yeah. You could have to bring them in and fucking tell them about new tactics. Just bring them in, test them, have people do certain things in areas where they're supposed to be watching and see if they're fucking paying attention. Lots of things. You can do things. You got kids playing all the time. Have them refs out there.
There you go. So you got a prediction for the Jags game, Ryan?
I have no idea. I have no stinking idea. I know Chase Young will be there. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to... I think we need to score. The Jags could hang some points on us, especially if our defense is playing shitty like they were. Okay. I'm going to go 34-27 49ers.
There you go. I think it's going to be lower scoring. I'm going to say 49ers 24, Jaguars 21. In a close game.
Yeah. Definitely could be.
I mean, they got a good defense. They got those weapons, but I don't know. Hopefully we can confuse Trevor Lawrence a little bit. Or just keep him off the field, possess the ball, run it.
I'm not worried about confusing him. I'm worried about us not being confused.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
We used to play a certain style of football. It didn't matter who we were going up against. We played the same way every single time. We're going to stop the run. And then once you can't run the ball, we're just going to pin our ears back and rush you. And we don't have that anymore this year. I didn't even see that really from our defense these first couple games, except for maybe like the first game when we stopped. Not to say that we didn't really stop them, because we weren't letting people rush on us, but their last couple games where they're just opening up the floodgates on us.
It's been ugly. No doubt about it. Cousins and Burrow put on the clinic 2 weeks in a row. And I'll tell you what, PJ Walker could have but he just missed a lot of throws, I would say. So how you feeling about the rest of the season? Do you think there's any chance that we miss the playoffs?
Yeah, there's a chance. If we keep playing like this, we can drop every single fucking game after this. Maybe. Well, we probably won't drop the Cardinals game. They got rid of Dobbs, but if they had Dobbs could beat us playing like this.
I feel pretty good about the Rams too.
Dude, shout out to Dobbs. That guy don't even know anybody's name, and he's fucking throwing for like 4 TDs. Shout out to that man.
Yeah.
I hope he gets to stay in Minnesota, or the next team he goes for actually is looking for him to be their starter. Because that young man has got thrown in a couple different positions couple different situations this year, and he has fucking done amazing. You know what I mean? Guy's got heart, guy's got talent. Just I hope he doesn't get put in a bad spot and he's like running for his life all the time. That's just, I hope he gets a good place where he can build on this good foundation that he's got going already, instead of like building his house on whatever foundation he's got right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shout out to Dobbs.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, he did well coming in for the rookie in Minnesota. Well, coming up on an hour here. I feel like we've done what we can do in an off week. How do you feel about Chase Young?
I think it has the chance to be just as devastating of a trade as Christian McCaffrey's was last year.
Oh, nice. I like it. That was huge for us.
It was. And this time it's on the defense. If they can rekindle some of those Ohio State days every Sunday, it'll be hands down the nastiest defensive front in the fucking league. The front seven will be the most nastiest fucks in the whole league.
That could be back to 2019 style almost.
Oh my God, bro. It could be so freaking nasty. Chase Young is just a freaking he could be the thing that helps us stop a guy like Lamar running all over us, because Chase Young will just run right up the hole right behind him and tackle him. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
Healthy Chase Young is a generational talent. We saw him just cook us up in our backfield. He was in our backfield more than our backs were. He was all over us. I think, how many sacks did he have that game? Like 4? Felt like 12. You know what I mean? Like, anytime we wanted to get something going, sack Chase Young.
We also had this.
Yeah, he scored, right? Yeah. See? And having another guy with that scoop and score potential, you got Bosa. Teams are going to be screwed because you're not going to be able to protect from everybody. And Chase has got that speed that I've been looking for. He doesn't have the ultra speed. You know what I mean? That really, he's not like a SR-71 Blackbird. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it doesn't matter if you shoot missiles at me or not. I don't give a shit. We're just gonna outrun them. It's not like that. It's how to put it? It's kind of like that stealth jet. Well, no, not really. They don't go very fast. You just can't see them. Get past you.
I hear you 100%.
He's a step below it. We'll make it work.
Rick Diaz says, "Gentlemen, how's it going? I have a question for both of you. What do you think if they do sign Chase Young for I think it's a multi-year contract? What do you think?"
I don't know. We would have to get rid. Well, if we were to sign Chase Young instead of Hufanga, I could see that happening. Hufanga hasn't really stepped it up this year. Last year was his best year, and he was still making mistakes last year. And what we've seen from him this year is nothing. Now, maybe that could be because of scheme or what he was told by Wilkes. I don't know. Somebody on the inside would know better, because that could be a thing. Wilkes could be like, "Hey, I don't want you doing this, this, and this," and Talano's like, "That's kind of the way I get all my shit." And he's like, "I don't give a fuck." Same way the defensive line's like, "Let's do the stunts," and he's like, "Nah, plain ass vanilla shit." And they're like, "But that's how we get all our pressures and our sacks." He's like, "I don't give a fuck." I'm telling you, I don't know, but I have a feeling that Wilkes might be changing stuff, and it's throwing everything off. Throwing off the whole vibe.
It's definitely not grooving right now. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. Well, hopefully this will be a get right game for us in Jacksonville at 10 a.m. It's just it's going to be a tough one. That's for sure. They're one of the better teams in the league this year, it seems like.
Yeah, and whether we keep him or something, that also depends on how well he does. You know, if all his sacks this season have already been put in the books, then I don't see us keeping him. But I have a feeling that will be the exact opposite of what we see from him. I think this will be the thing that gets the defensive line up and going again, as long as we bring back our stunts on third down. At least on third down, Steve. Holy shit. Let's fuck with these people, Steve. Let's get in their heads.
That's the key. Alrighty. Well, I think we're probably going to call it a day here, folks. But thank you, Ryan, as always, for being my co-host. Thanks to the audience. Appreciate everyone who stopped by. And I'll just say peace and go Niners.
Peace.